Hello, welcome. Yeah, I see we're finally live. I've been having some technical difficulties this morning, so things are a little behind schedule. Welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports, the Saturday morning edition, at least for this Saturday. Uh, I was hoping to have a guest on today, but it doesn't look like he's going to show up. But I just wanted to take a quick look at the NFC North. Uh, Quarterbacks. We're not going to go into much details, but because I don't have a lot. Um, and another topic of the show is that I really wanted to talk about what can Jameson Williams do to make it up to the fans for his um, basically missing season and a quarter, um, almost almost a season and a half um, for the team. Well, basically what he can do is be when he's back for this for the final, game seven through the rest of the year, he can go ahead and ball out. Even if it just means being a decoy or whatever, he can just go ahead and bring his A game to you know to the show. Basically, that's what he needs to do. That's what Jameson what he needs to do. Is he when he once he comes back and he finally is off suspension, fully healed up after a year and after season and 6 games, he can go ahead and really ball out and just show Detroit, show the team, show the fans that he really wants to be here because everybody remembers how the look on his face when he got drafted by the Lions. I know he explained that, and in some ways, you know, in some ways you can't blame him as far as for how he looked. There's a lot of people when a team is so bad, you wonder what what is going to go on, how he's going to really perform once he gets here, and you actually wonder. There's a lot of people that will want to stay away from a bad team, you know. But generally, but not that Detroit's a bad team now. He Detroit is a team that is growing and an inspiring team, a team that is going to be, that is expected to be a contender, and in a lot of people's eyes, expected to be the NFC North champions this year. But they still got to go out and win it. And I think they have the best chance. I think they got the best team in the NFC North right now. I do think that if I look at teams that I would maybe even be afraid of, even taking over or even giving us a challenge, I would need to see right. I need to say right now that the team that I think that would be closest to giving us a challenge, and even they weakened up, and that's that is the Minnesota Vikings. You know, they're the ones that went ahead and I think is the most has the most chance to give the Detroit Lions a challenge this year. We don't know what Jordan Love. Okay, you look at what is going on as far as the quarterbacks uh, in the NFC North. We don't know what Jordan Love is. We don't know what he's going to add or take away from the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, you lose a starting quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers was on the decline. There's no doubt about it with Green Bay. So you don't know if Jordan Love is going to be able to come in and replace Aaron Rodgers like like he's like of course Green Bay is expecting to him to do. You also got to look at Justin Fields from the and well, going back to Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love does have a better scrambling ability. Uh, but hey, Grandizer 12, how's it going? For some reason, oh, ah, I've been having a little bit technical difficulty. Maybe we will talk about it later. Uh, uh, hey. Hi, how's it going? How's it going, Grandizer 12? Uh, Thank you for appearing uh, in the comments. I do appreciate it. Uh, but yeah, we don't know what Jordan Love is going to bring with his scrambling ability. We do know that Jared Goff was one of the hottest quarterbacks, throughout the last year's season. Uh, but as long as he don't take a step back, we really don't know what the running game is going to be with the uh, Lions, and so this could be a whole new, this could be a whole new deal. But I think the attitude has changed, and I think the culture has changed in Detroit, and I think that's a main thing as far as in changing the culture and what they did. You know, this is the main reason I think the Lions are going to be the top. Uh, is and that is of course if everybody stays healthy. I think the Lions are going to come in and they're going to want to show dominance, and that's one thing that in order to for the Detroit Lions to win the NFC North, to they're going to need to basically beat the NFC North teams, as well as beating the as well as winning a lot of their games, most of their games, because the NFC North is not just gonna lay down and say, "Hey, we'll give it to you." I do think that putting a lot of pressure on the opposing team's quarterbacks, especially that's the way to the weakest part of Chicago. Um, the weakest part of Chicago is their offensive line. Um, so if they can still get to if they can still get to Justin Fields and put that pressure on Justin Fields, yeah, that really could do it. Uh, but yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Okay, Grandizer 12. Maniac Tim, have you ever heard of Dracula's Kung Fu Theater show? Mm, not really. Uh, not really. And I am having trouble with things right now. Huh? Uh, but yeah, my computer's acting. I think I gotta get it updated, stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, you know what? I think it's time for a roar. All right, I think it's time for a roar. Okay, so the Lions need to come out of the gate, and they gotta go ahead and they gotta play well against the Kansas City Chiefs opening day of the full NFL season. They gotta go ahead and play well, and actually, I hope they can go ahead and beat them. Kansas City is going to be a tough test. You know, um, keys to winning is hopefully that well, we also know that Kansas City sometimes they come out starting slow, but I don't think the Lions are going to be able to get rely on that though, because I think that Kansas City knows who they're playing, and they don't want I think they're going to come out and have their A game right away too. So, but hey, this is going to be a great test for the Detroit Lions is to see what the players can do. Um, so I want to see, yeah, hey, I want to see him beat Kansas City. In Kansas City, you go ahead and you beat Kansas City in Kansas City. That's a great way to start off the season. It is a high test to actually achieve, but hey, it is achievable though. Yeah, you got, but they got the ball out. They're gonna need to, you know, as far as Ben Johnson, he knows how to create an offense that can go ahead and be a potent offense with a run for first format, but also going ahead and having the plays in there to go ahead and make the plays. Uh, Go ahead and make the running plays, the catching plays. Uh, Go ahead and just we're going to get to see how much of an offensive genius Ben Johnson is this year. All right. So we know last year he went ahead and Lions had a slow start, but as far as for in the wins and loss records, but they hung in there and they're like crazy. A lot of it is also going to depend on the defense. Did the defense do enough to go ahead and build up the to go ahead and build up a strong defense? I think the secondary is going to be a lot better. CJ Gardner Johnson, we talked about him before. I mean, he's been he's been the talk of the Detroit since he came here. You know, you get him in that backfield, or at least covering the receivers and stuff like that. The leadership that we have seen from C.J. Gardner Johnson as far as when he came to the mini camps and stuff like that. I do think that going back to yeah, and you gotta realize Maniac Tim is gonna be Maniac Tim, and he's gonna bounce back and forth from topic to topic because that's the way I flow. That's the way I do my thing. Okay, and because I think of something that hey I may have missed, but one of the things that I do think that Jameson Williams is has showed a willingness to go ahead and to be a part of this team. And as far as working with Aaron St. Brown, I mean, going and getting that guidance, getting, you know, learning and hopefully applying it to the maturity side of Jameson Williams because he got the skills. All right, he got the skills to be the top receiver uh, in football with his speed. All right, at least one of the top receivers. So he got he got the skills to do it. Now all I need to do is put in the maturity, put in the attitude, and get the results. Because one of the things that we noticed last year is if he was involved in the play, it was a tell. But he needs to be better to be that. To if he's gonna be a decoy, he needs to run out as fast as he did, even when he was going to be the one that is catching the ball. You know. Um, so this is how Jameson Williams can go ahead and make up to Detroit, for his fault. And it wasn't his fault that he was out that first year, all right, but it was his fault, the gambling thing, even though it doesn't, you know, even though it doesn't show what we got. He needs to move past it, and he needs to be that best player that to achieve to add to this team. So yeah, but yeah, I do think that he can. And Jared Goff needs to be the Jared Goff, or maybe even better than what he was last year. I mean, see, that's one of the things that consistency. Jared Goff needs to be a consistent quarterback year in and year out, and that's what I want to see. Here's all this talk about. Let's talk about giving him a contract extension and stuff like that. But what I want Jared Goff to do is I want to be able to rely on him year after year after year. Not 1 year he be Goffle and then 1 year he be great. You know, uh, I think the Lions have did a great job at building a team around him. You know, to go ahead and put those pieces in place. I think even with the the new running back, because as everybody knows, I have said this before, and I am going to continue saying this. The moves that we made on running back this year is an upgrade compared to what we had last year. Because I do think that Montgomery is going to be able to just go ahead and is going to be able to go ahead and just be a lot better with the Lions than what it was, because you're going to be working behind a top two offensive line compared to what Chicago has. So I do think that his carries are going to be a lot better, and then you got Jamar Gibbs that's really going, that you don't know if he's going to be, he's good at both running back and receiver, you know, so, and there's still a host of other players and receivers and stuff like that. So I do think the Lions have Jared Goff. Uh, I do think the Lions have Jared Goff, a good team around him, a great offense around him, and that's it, and hey, it is, and Deshaun, I mean, it's just, and thank you, guys at 12. I did get some sleep, and yes, I do gotta work later on today. But yeah, I hope you slept well as too. But yeah, and I know I don't need to show every message up there, but I do appreciate you coming on this early. Yeah, and how did work go? I mean, I know you didn't get a lot of sleep because you were working last night, when we were chatting, and of course, I didn't get a lot of sleep either, but what little sleep I got, I did get, and it will be enough to take me through work. Uh, but as as long as as long as golf can go ahead and be that quarterback. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about too is, I mean, how long did we, the NFC North, you know, um, Justin Fields, I think he's going to be in Chicago, for a long time. I think, of course, Jordan Love, he basically, as long as he can go ahead and, welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports. Thank you everybody for dropping in. And okay, that's somebody here watching from Cedar Hills, Texas. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah. Thanks for dropping in. I do appreciate it. I do definitely appreciate you. So how's it? And I'm actually going to be in Houston for a little bit on the third. Uh, but I don't got a lot of time, free time. Uh, but yeah. So glad to uh, glad you could show up and drop in on stream. Um, Also, I gotta think, you know, how much longer does Kirk Cousins have with with the Minnesota Vikings? Because I know there's, of course they were a hot team for uh, last year for most of the season, but then they tapered off and they wasn't as hot. But waiting for you to go live to support your show. Yeah, and it's yeah, thank you, and I appreciate it, Grant. I always appreciate it, Grandizers 12. You have always supported this show. Uh, yeah, I'm doing good. Facebook user, I do appreciate it. Yeah, it's a it's I appreciate it. Sorry. Uh, yeah, appreciate you stopping at shopping at. I don't even got a place to shop on the show yet, but coming watching the show. Okay, it's going good out here. It's very hot out here. Yeah. Wow. I'm glad to hear it's going very good. I do know that yeah, I have heard is real hot, and I'm not looking forward to that part of it, but I'm looking forward to being out of work for a little bit. That's the good part about it. I'm glad it's you're definitely not worrying about snow. But yeah, and once again, hey, thank you, Grandizer 12, for coming supporting the show. You are always appreciated. He's always and hey, I'll tell you, Grandizer 12, he helps out a lot of streamers, and there's a lot of content creators that really, he follows, he supports the show. He has supported me, ever since I've been here. So I mean, it's just something that he does good, and he will always be appreciated. You know, I can't thank him. I can't thank him enough. And as you can see, I'm having a little bit of internet issues. I don't know why. but I do live way out in the country too. Uh, yeah, it's about 100 degrees out there. Wow. Yeah, I understand. And hey, see, we got fans. Maniac Sports has fans all the way out in Texas. And you know what? Hey, this is the best season of the year because hey, we're getting back. We are getting ready. We are getting close. It's football season. The it's getting closer and closer. Training camp is back. You got training camp. You got you know then pretty soon the preseason is going to be here. Then when that regular season opens up, oh my God, OMG, that's just going to be great, and of course, you know how I feel. I mean, hey, I go over the top here. I want to see that 20 game regular season. Yeah, I know, and I know there's a lot of other people that wants to be see that 20 game season, but they're also aware of what it would do for the harness that it would have on the player's body. Because hey, this is a contact sport. This is a collision sport. I call it higher than contact sport because it is a collision sport. So putting 3 extra games on the season, uh, yeah, yikes. It's only high 70s, low 80s here today. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I don't want to see those. I mean, that's one thing when it's best to be if you have a pool out by the, or not out by the pool, but inside the pool. If you're in that 100 degree weather and stuff like that, or in air conditioning too, you know, where I work, my normal job, I do have I it's I work in an oven room, so but I have a freezer room that's not too far. So because I work in food production, so and that's all I can say about that. But yeah, but you know, I see Justin Fields being there for the foreseeable future for Chicago. As long as he don't get hurt, I see. I mean, his running ability. Uh, if they ever build a offensive line in front of uh, Justin Fields, oh my God, you don't know what it could be, what it could turn out to be. But right now, I think this year that they're gonna have you know I think this year they're still gonna struggle. And I do think that the Lions are gonna be playing a lot more seriously than what they have in the past, and I do think that they're going to have a better start. But of course, they got to prove it, you know. But they're not going to go in and surprise anybody, you know. They're not. They're not. They're not. Oh, yeah, you can tell Grandize of 12 hasn't had a lot of sleep lately. uh, yeah, this computer's acting slow today. Am I the Muffin Man? Eh, Actually, I'm not the Muffin Man. I'm actually do meat processing or meat. But the company that used to own us, they made a lot of muffins, stuff like that. Um, but we are owned by a different company now than what I started. Well, actually, I do not work inside the oven. I do work in an oven room, um, and with meat production and stuff like that. So I'm responsible for cook and chill. Uh, but that's just That's is what it is. And hey, I've been at that job for a long time, so it's I've been at my company through. There's only been a couple owners since I've been here, but there's been a few name changes. Uh, but I really can't, you know, I really can't say too much about that. But yeah, I work in a oven room, but hey, I would much rather be, you know, be at the games and stuff like that. The worst part about working second shift is that it takes away both your nights and your days, and it takes away a lot of your chances to go to different venues and stuff like that, sporting wise. Because let's just face it, a lot, and when I work at night and stuff like. But no, that I don't want to turn this into sad a sob story about me though, because it's not. I do I for the most part, my job can be all right. It's not you have it. We have our days, just like with every job. We all have our days. There's some days you feel like pulling your hair out, and then there's some days where it's you know where things go smoothly. We just need more of those days where things go smoothly. Okay, believe me, sometimes you get some of those days. Uh, but hey, sorry if I got off the sports topic. Um, and but okay, so this is of course Tim's Maniac Sports. Like, subscribe. I appreciate everybody that stopped in. Uh, whatever venue you are watching me from, I really appreciate it. Share the show. I hope to be doing this on more and more, especially at like the 11 o'clock time slot. If I can get my body situated to waking up and getting more informed. I do want to be on more with a lot of your training camp news. Uh, and if there's somebody from any other NFC teams or NFL teams that wants to be a guest on the show, uh, feel free. I just hit me up uh, in a message or something, and we'll see if we can work things out. Um, you know, uh, Coming up, I am going to try to do a live show definitely August 3rd from Houston, George Bush International Airport. Uh, so I'm going to try to do a live show there. Now it all depends on noise and how things I can, how I can get things going. But I definitely plan on doing that. But you'll see me on here more times than just that. But as far as I can't wait to the regular season. You know, I and this, a lot of people are a lot of the Lions fans. They're looking at this season. They're anticipating because we were we were came that close to making the playoffs. And no, we didn't do what it took to get in the playoffs. So I'm not crying. Oh yeah, we didn't make the playoffs. That's not what I'm doing here. But you came that close to making the playoffs. Well, this year we need to make the playoffs. This year, okay, this year we need to have three agendas. There's three agendas for me. All right, as far as for if the Lions, for the Lions to show that they have improved, that they have changed the culture. Because this has been one of the things that we have been talking about, and any Lions fans that has been a Lions fan for a long time knows, you know, is that you go ahead and you have a good year, then you anticipate the next year coming because you think that you took that step to make things better, but the next year comes and you fall flat on your face. Well, I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think this year the Lions are going to be what we think they are, what they think they are, and that they're going to go ahead and win the NFC North for the first time ever. You know, also win a playoff game, uh, win 10 or more games. You know, that's if you're that team that's developing, if you're that team that is getting better, the Lions won 9 games last year. All right, you know, can't get much closer than to 10 than that. I want to see them win a couple more than 10 games. I want to see them win at least 12 games. But you know, that's my. I want to see them win a playoff game or two. I'd love to see them go to the Super Bowl, but that's not my requirement this year. But I mean, sure, if they went to Super Bowl, and I'm not saying that they're the best team that will make it to the Super Bowl. But hey, uh, NFC. Okay, Tim. Okay, but yeah, I do thank everybody for coming. Any other questions or any comments? How do you think the Lions are going to be this year? Please leave your questions. Uh, are How do you think Goff's going to be? Is he going to be, is he going to be that consistent quarterback that we all need, that every team needs basically, and that's what we need to see is consistency from Jared Goff. Are you for re-signing Jared Goff before the season? Because we all know this is his last year of his contract. That the Lions that he's under. Or are you guys one of the ones? Hey, if Goff takes us, what happens if Goff takes us to the Super Bowl? Then what do you add? What do you pay? Is it because Goff has been to Super Bowl before, he didn't win, but he's been to Super Bowl. You know, uh, and then Hooker, what's going to go on with him? You know, and I'm sure he's going to be out for some games. Um, I can't blame the line. Yeah, and I don't want to see him come back too soon and re-injure himself and be out another season and a half either. So uh, this is yeah. Am I ready to hand over the reins to Hendon Hooker if 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 he's healthy? Uh, right now, I gotta look and see golf. It's golf. Oh yeah, and by the way, I did want to say this too. Hey, thank you guys for coming on. Um, and this is Maniac Tim Sports. Uh, a lot of people knows me. I am co-founder of Detroit Lions and Pro. I know you guys missed that show. Um, Anybody who's seen that, it was a good show, and I don't I don't blame Val for moving on. Uh, she had to do what she had to do, It was a great run. I wish her the best success in whatever she's doing right now. Uh, but yeah, we do miss that show. I see that Kurt Steele's, he's doing pretty good, and I did watch his episode, at least part of it. So make sure you support Kurt Steele. Make sure you support like Jeremy, and also Lions Nation Unite. Support. You know, check out Micro Mike, Dose of Dion, Everything King. Those are, and of course, Herman Moore. So Herman Moore and Chrissy. Uh, but thank you guys. I think I'm going to end the show right now. Uh, it's been a uh, great time, but I do gotta work today. I'm not exactly sure when my next show will be. I will try. I'm going to try to do a show on Monday at 11 a.m. Uh, I'm going to really, really, really do my best to try to get back to that schedule. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, uh, a show at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know I have not always been able to do that, but I definitely want to try to get that time slot. Oh yeah, Aurora of the Lions UK, definitely. You guys follow their, and hey, they're Europeans. They're in the UK, but they are 100% Lions fans. I mean, I'll tell you what, and they know their stuff about the Detroit Lions. They're Roar the UK is part of uh, the Lions Nation Unite platform. They've been part of the platform ever since Lions Nation Unite has been there. But yeah, Roar the Roar of the Lions UK definitely support that. Thank you for bringing that up and reminding me about them Grandize as well, because hey, you're seeing, and of course they can be found on Twitch, they can be found Facebook. I know they do Twitch and Facebook, both of them. So check their show out. They've had some good stars, and some good interviews on there too. Some good people. Uh, uh, wherever the UK has their draft players this year, this year's college tapes. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll need to start watching more of them too. Um, and maybe try to get them on there. But yeah, like I say, they're class. Yeah, Anthony and Matthew over there, they are class act. Yeah, sorry, I know there's more than just the two, but I do know Anthony and Matthew, you know, very well. Especially Anthony. He has been, he was on Free for All Fridays a lot of time. And I still remember when Jim Bordeaux went ahead and said, "Oh, somebody wants to join all the way from the UK." And he's got. So I do remember when he was on it. Like I say, they know their stuff. Okay. Plus, Wednesday is Roar of the Lions UK College. Yes, true, true. Okay, what brings out the maniac in me? What brings out the maniac in me is winning. Is winning, and also it's football season. It's football season coming up. Great plays, great hits, and also great fans. You know, just the atmosphere of a team that's doing something also brings out the maniac. And really, what brings out the maniac in you guys? Yeah, I mean, hey, I was talking to you well, yesterday I stayed after work a little bit because I had to get some. We got a new platform coming in at work where I gotta had to be able to sign in a different way on how I record my temps and that. Well, I was talking to my I consider him friend, but my superior, my boss's boss. And he's really into weightlifting, and of course, we were, I of course had to ask him, what brings out the maniac in you, and what, and he right away knew what I meant by that, he knew that and for him, hit, it's his drive to go ahead and be the best that he can be, to he goes ahead and he is challenging himself, pushing himself to be the top out, to make his body perform the best that it can perform. And he tries to practice that throughout life. That's what he tries to, he does it not only in weightlifting. He used to play soccer, I mean, this this guy, you see him, and he knows stuff, knowing how, having the right nutrition, having the right balance uh, for growth, to get the maximum performance out of his body that he can be, that he can do as far as in his weightlifting and when he used to play soccer. And I mean, that's one thing that he, like as we were talking, he was saying, yeah, that's one thing that he was thinking about, going home and, you know, getting on those weights and, and pumping it up. At first he started out with just the weights, and he found out how to get his nutrition right and all this other stuff. So, it's a build, I guess if you look at it in layman's terms, it's the building process, the building of the the creation, what he can control on his body being the best that it can be, the best performance. And he's not a boisterous type guy that's going to go ahead, hey, I'm all this, but he is one that wants to see the results. So, uh, yeah, but hey, and he actually looked at my show a little bit to yesterday, when we were at the end of our day. So, but any other questions, as far as today, uh, for anybody else? And what would somebody like me to look up for Monday? Monday show. I think I'm going to try it. Monday show. I'm going to try. Well, I'll find out. It's going to be basically training camp. Training camp moves. I'm going to look at that training camp. What's going on there? Uh, and just try to, uh, you know, get updates. So maybe, yeah, maybe I'll look more at some of the receivers. I do one of these sometime next week. I do want to do a show of uh, the NFC North receivers, receivers quarterback show. Um, that is one that I definitely would like to do. is a show on the receivers and that. But in saying that, we've been on here almost an hour, and that's great. I do gotta go to work today. Gotta finish getting ready. But hey, thank you guys for stopping. Uh, I don't know if yeah, who knows? I might just decide to pop on tomorrow or maybe sometime after work tonight. I don't know. I'm not gonna make that promise, but I am gonna do my best to be on here at 11 a.m. on Monday for sure. But this is Tim's Maniac Sports. Maniac Tim signing off. Thanks everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave comments. That always helps out, helps produce, helps the show out. And I just, hey, I see somebody else just joined. Um, what brings out the maniac in you? Yeah, and also on, yeah, also on Facebook. You can look at it to any channel. I also want to. I also want. I know I thanked him yesterday, Tristan Williams. I want to thank him for uh, being a big part of Maniac Sports as a whole. He's always posting things in on. I do got a page, you know, which is Tim's Maniac Sports Room uh, on Facebook. I got, he's always posting that there. And also in on Facebook, my Facebook group. Anybody wants to join that too? My Maniac Sports Facebook group. You can. I don't have a website as of yet. I'm looking into getting a website, uh, which I plan on doing shortly because I do want to get that, especially going during the season. Uh, but definitely like, subscribe, questions. Thank you. Always a great thanks to Grandice for all the help that he gives me, support for the show. Uh, but with that, I'm gonna leave you guys with a roar, and let's release the beast. Tim's Main Sports. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.